I was listening to your videos last night and I haven't been moved the way I think since I first encountered Osho. I think you have a very special message. I think you have a very special way of delivering it. And I'm glad I can bring it to more people in some form or shape.
It's all blessing of Osho.
My first question is, do you identify as a spiritual mystic? Or how should people conceptualize Satya?
I call this process cosmic human, which includes spiritual and material. I don't make choices because life is not making choices about upper chakra or lower chakra. It's part of one spectrum, 7 colors, which is Krishna. Out of sun, which is Ram, one whole. So I think the problem is by making choices that spiritual or not spiritual, So point is that you deal with what is in front of you, not what you should be, what you can be, what is in front of, because that is the hukum, the will of life. This is the will of life, and this includes everything. Right. You make a choice, you are on Maya journey. You're lost.
So as soon as I make a choice, I am no longer a cosmic human and I'm now entertaining Maya too hard.
You're got into the Kali Yuga, the mind world of tomorrow, a linear movement of time. There is no time happening. There is only this happening. Like ocean, wave comes and you see wave comes and goes. You say, ek wave aaya, one wave came and one wave left. For you, that is the counting of time. But whereas if you look at it as the ocean, there's nothing coming and going. It's all one movement.
Right.
So experiencing life from that point of view is what state of cosmic human, or let's say enlightened state.
That is what it appears.
But for us, enlightenment is a duality with what we are now.
Enlightenment is a different stage that we are in as opposed to where we are now.
Right.
It's a stage.
Whereas this, you see, in Zen they say beyond enlightenment. Buddha कहते हैं when you have a thorn into your foot of, let's say, desires, you take another thorn, which is called meditation and spiritual. You take it out, then you throw away both. Now you are with the life as it is. Not judging any energy, because life is not judging anything. We are judging. We are judging sexuality. We are judging emotions. People have depressions because they repress their anger. I tell you a very beautiful solution for depression. Make the person very, very angry. His depression will disappear because energy is crushed in. You make it explode. Depression is gone. So that's the, till you see, you have to attack your problems not psychologically but energetically.
Say more. Say more about that.
For example, meditation which I prescribe to people, youngsters, and hundreds are getting benefit by it. They say, I have this problem, that I just start to do gibberish and shaking meditation. Shake your body. There is one guy in Indonesia, he cured people's cancer just by shaking 8 hours a day. Because you're activating your Shakti, which is blocked by the psychologies and the minds and pressures of life, you stop flowing. So he said, don't work on that psychologically, just shake your body. So first step you shake, that is Durga, the core energy, Kundalini, the first 2 chakras, you activate them. You will feel going mad. Then second step, Lakshmi, you express and dance. It's a Shakti, wisdom going on. Then third step, you sit absolutely still. Energy has risen and expressed. Now it will enter into the third. First is Ichha Shakti. Second is Kriya Shakti. And third, when you sit down, is the Jnana Shakti. You have to start from the root. You cannot have flowers out there. So this is the cycle within us. So when you approach problem, we try to approach it psychologically. Whole conditioning is counseling and this and that. You are not looking at from energy angle. Your energy is stagnant. It needs to move. Whatever you're feeling is a stink rising out of your stagnant water. Once it's become a river, your problem will disappear.
Right.
Because you need to flow.
Right.
Why you're suffering? Something stops you. You cannot flow anymore. Right?
I understand.
So exactly.
Right.
So energetically dealing with things, and energy dealing is much easy than psychologically trying to understand some truth and consciousness and all that.
Dealing with your life through intellect, thoughts, problems and solutions is much more difficult than dealing with it through energy movement.
Yes.
And that energy movement happens, for instance, in your worldview, with me shaking first, then dancing, and then sitting down. And that creates this subtle flow of energy that allows my life to go on easier. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes.
What is the intent of your teaching? Like, are we trying to make... I'm coming from the school of thought where I have an inherent sense of disgust for anybody who says, I want to meditate for getting more focus. Because you've taken meditation, something as pure as meditation, and made it about your capitalist, greedy pursuits.
Yes.
Right? I will get good grades. I will... I've often spoken about Vipassana as something I've done. I met somebody who was there because they had an interview after that and they were preparing for it. And I said, you've taken something very cosmic and reduced it to something very atomic and very selfish. Yeah. And I don't think the intended effect will happen at that point. So what is the intent of what you're teaching? Is it to make my life easier, or...
It's to make you flower as you are designed by life.
And what happens if I flower that way?
Means all your potential you're carrying, your unexpressed energies will express. As a child, we are told to become like that, become an engineer, become this. But nobody is looking at a child, what potential he or she is carrying, and support that to grow. We didn't come here to get enlightened.
Right.
We came here to, by the design of life, to express the celebration, the creativity of life. And we are not allowed that, Yesterday we were talking that when you have no tension for a few days, you start to feel guilty.
Agreed.
Why am I so much having fun?
Right.
I should be stressed out.
Right.
About something. Then you feel justified to live the life. And opposite is that this is a celebration. Look at Shiva, Nataraj. He's dancing this. And we are making it an efficient work. So what they do is they take a dancing aspect of spirituality, which is pure celebration. No ulterior motive. You are just like to be here. That's what love is. I love to be with you. That's all. Not get married or go to bed. I just like to sit in your company. That's what essentially meditation is. I like to sit with this life. Then out of that abundance of energy, focus is spontaneous. But you're not sitting to get a focus so you can be efficient. So you are misusing higher energy for lower, and it is a big curse. You will see all the great musicians, they have very disastrous lives in the end because they start to sell the Saraswati. It is free. Sun is free, water is free, but we are selling what is coming abundantly out of us. So hence you cannot form a system which is a sharing system, because we want to... What is the basic criterion of any child in today's time? Whether you can make money, only then you are right person. Otherwise, you are not okay.
Something is wrong with you.
Something is wrong with you.
You need correction.
And this is what child keeps on thinking. I can't make money, hence I am useless. But whereas life's design is, each human being is its best creation. It's an experiment with new design. And it has to come to its flowering as it is. It doesn't mean you will become less efficient in material. Then you will bring prosperity there. But we are told to gather energies. Making money is what? People have billions, and some people on earth are dying hungry. So something has gone wrong. Sadhguru gave a very beautiful example that if we see a monkey in a jungle gathering bananas, we will study him, that what's wrong with him? Why is gathering bananas?
Right. That's so interesting.
We are not checking our human beings.
Right.
Billions of dollars, 100 billion, 200 billion. And there are people dying of hunger. People don't have enough to eat, to live. So this is imbalance. Imbalance has started because we became efficiency oriented. Whereas life is creativity and prosperity oriented. When you are creative, efficiency comes naturally. You see, a tree is not being efficient. It is being itself and giving out mangoes and apples. And hence, it makes prosperity happen.
I see what you mean.
Einstein came not out of efficiency with his inventions. He came out of his genius flowering.
Right, sure.
So if we have enough human beings functioning out of their natures, from the swadharma,
right,
from their natural flow, will create much more prosperity. Right now, every genius is taken by corporate to use into their system.
Into their Excel sheet filling machines.
You think people are only inventing science today? There are people who are inventing, who have many, many great ideas around the world, and they have no takers because nobody gives those things value, which can bring prosperity.
Right.
So there should be separate funds for, you see, we are supporting sick humans, We're supporting poor humans, donations. What about donations about genius humans who need help to make Earth better?
Right.
That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
So we have to support a child's basic design, not what I think he should be.
What I understand from what you're saying is the way the modern world works, probably even predates the modern world, is a collective social neuroses of sorts, where people have their own addictions or their afflictions or their disaffections, they like or dislike, and then they've taken to that like and dislike, made it into tradition and ritual in a way where, like, if a child cannot make money, for instance, where money is an affection, then the child's not worth it. The child registers that, passes it on to the next generation, so on and so forth. And that sort of led to largely a life of efficiency, but not a life of celebration.
Yes.
And a dance is much better than an efficient way of operating through your environment in whatever robotic capacity we can imagine. I also was very curious about your point where you said musicians will generally have a bad end because they start to sell the Saraswati. Is that to say that creativity must not be commercialized?
You see, in olden times, for example, they were not going to sing because they will get money. For example, there is a story, that Akbar told Tansen that, that I haven't seen any better musician than you. And Tansen said, I am nothing. My guru, Haridas, is amazing. He said, bring him. But he said, he never comes and plays in courts. How I can hear him? He said, we'll go in the morning. Sometimes he wakes up in the morning and starts to play Veena. So they waited 2-3 days and one day he played. And when they're coming back, Akbar is quiet. Tansen asked me, what do you think? He said, you were right. You are nothing. You see, art is a natural, spontaneous flow of the cosmic energy. But on top of it is sitting our mind, which is trying to commercialize it. That is the sin. So, of course, you see, you're asking me something that it shouldn't be or should it be. Notice what is happening with singers. Look at all the Western singers. When they start, they are great and all. Then they die. Overdoses and all that. Because, for example, Kumar Gandharv had a throat cancer. He was a child genius. So this energy has to be honored. There should be systems which will support these kind of people to develop their art. Not they have to develop art to make money.
Sure.
That's because it's something divine. It should be for free.
Right.
It should be shared, Even when I make painting, if we need money, we say, you give donation for this painting.
Right.
Rather than
a price for it.
I set a price for it.
Right.
Because when you are doing anything for sale of it, you're no more doing it. You're doing it
for the sale of it.
For the sale of it. Right. And the whole point of spirituality, of love, of tantra, of art is when you're completely engrossed with the process. That engrossedness is bhakti, is meditation, is creativity.
Right.
Because dancing is not some efficiency to be paid for.
Sure. Right.
It's a celebration of your energy.
Right. If you had to summarize your philosophy, what would it be? Or your idea?
As many humans, as many philosophies you need for them.
Right.
Because each person will need a different approach towards life.
So, does it have to do with a form of unique self-expression? Is that the end, right? And that has to be achieved through practices?
That has to be, yes, you have to figure out, as I told you, that we have basically 3 expressions, like what they call Tripura Sundari, the Sri Lalita. One is body castle, second is the energy castle, third is the mind castle. So each person has some dominance, So working on all our 3 energies, but today's culture, we are working only with the mind and the memory. We do not have emotional intelligence, that my anger is not bad, my whatever I feel is not bad, it's an energy to be expressed. I'm not saying get angry at people. When anger is there, deal with it, express it, don't judge it. Because energy is creativity and prosperity. If it is stuck into your sexuality, if it is stuck into your emotionality, or if it's stuck into the mind fuck, you cannot be prosperous. you will be only stealing money, which today's business is. I do not do business to you to benefit you as a human. I want to get money out of you. And what I use? Fear and greed. Either give you greed or a fear. That's how I will make a business. But if my true intention is to benefit you because I'm feeling great, I have created this, I want you to have it. That is Lakshmi.
It seems like the outcome can be the same, but the intent of it matters. That's something to the effect of what you're saying.
Yes.
Right? Like
yes.
With what emotion? I came up with this idea myself in my own private musings. I called it the theory of ingredients. This is just privately for me. And what I meant was, what you give in order to get is what you will feel after you get. So if I walk the journey of, let's say, for common parallels, material success, if I walk the journey joyfully, after I have achieved, I also feel joy. But if I've stressed all the way to the top, then even after getting there, I will still continue to feel. So it's almost like if I give love to people, I will automatically receive.
Yes.
And in that way, it changed the way I looked at the process of it.
Yeah.
And so intent is important. That's what you're saying.
Because the action itself is neutral. Intention. You see, for example, I take a hammer and break the rock. You can call it violent, but then I create a Om and Ram out of it. My intention is to give form, not to destroy a form. Violence is violence when you destroy just to destroy. But when Krishna cuts a head of a Shishupal, he is releasing him. He is not cutting his head to destroy him. He is stopping his karma flow so he can grow further. So when, if somebody is going to kill 10 of your friends and holding a gun and you have option to shoot him, now you will follow non-violence or you will use violence to protect 10 lives.
Well, I think it's a very good example because one of the points at which I don't know how to make sense of spirituality is that you can say we are all one, we are the waves of an ocean and therefore an ocean. But if one wave is holding a knife to the other wave's throat, then there is no one. Then you are you and I am I. There is a separation immediately as soon as it's about the body, as soon as it's about health, right? So in that way, I think it's a brilliant example, but keep going. Tell me more.
First thing what Arjun says in Gita and Krishna answers him.
Right.
Puri Gita finishes in the first chapter only, but Arjun doesn't get it.
Right.
He said that we keep on coming and we keep on going. We are always here. Nobody gets killed. Nobody kills. That's the point you should remember. Nobody gets killed and nobody kills. It's the process, A form is destroyed. Nothing is destroyed. It comes again. But we have made laws and we kill for our greed, etc., etc. That you break the law of energy. Otherwise, life is killing. You think right now, hundreds of people are dying right now.
Right.
And hundreds are baby taking birth.
Right.
So which you will say is the life? It's both. Whereas life itself is eternal. So this is one of the why Indian spirituality, we made it very moralistic. Otherwise, it's dangerous, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Kind of.
You cannot be black or white. You have to be grey.
Right.
That's why Krishna is not understood. We only worship his Gita aspect or Kanhaiya aspect. But where he was politicians, where he was using strategies to defeat others, it's all part of the game. You think that Marlon Brando in Godfather is an evil person? No, he's playing the character. And he's playing it beautifully. So it's about, again, Aghor aspect. Nothing is right or wrong. What needs to be done in a given moment, if you are playing politics, I play politics back. I don't play holy there. Because you don't deserve my holiness.
Right.
Because you're playing politics. So I counter it with politics.
Right.
If you are being open and loving to me, I also become open and loving. So you see, you are not making judgment of any color.
Fair. I understand. So I am approaching life with a general lack of social morality. The way the world has colored things, I'm ignoring that and I'm engaging with it completely in this moment. And what that means is if you are being violent towards me, I cannot respond in non-violence, which I think is the error that Gandhian ethics made in this country.
And Buddhism.
And Buddhism for that matter. It became a continuum where we said, listen, marne do, ab dusra gaal aage kar do, 6 gaal aur dhoond ke thappad maar dega. And that's never a good solution. You are saying the Krishnite ways, if I'm being met with violence as the Pandavas, I have to respond in violence.
Because allowing a violence on yourself
is also
violence because you're allowing somebody to violate you. Your first responsibility, unlike Gandhi, you don't give me something, I'll start to go on fast and kill myself. That's not non-violence. That is masochism. So whereas you have to protect this life, you are entitled and given responsibility by life. You have to protect what design is given to you. And you have to use all your colors, wisdom, martial power, power of love, everything to work around that castle, on that Vasudevaya.
Right.
It's not you only. Basically, it's the life itself which uses all its things to further create life. But what we do is that we start to judge destruction. People can destroy you, it's okay. But if you destroy, then they will say you're doing a wrong thing. So this has to be understood. But another aspect is you have to be very clear with your intention. Are you coming out of, even with violence, are you coming out of aggression, or are you coming out of need of situation? In martial arts, they teach you, can you generate a punch without any emotional aggression? And that punch is so powerful because coming with one total energy. But when you're emotional, your energy is divided.
Between the emotion and the action.
Yeah. But when you are just pure energy and attack, now it's not an aggression. It's a counter to that aggression with pure energy. So you are not aggressive in the psychology, but in your action, you're deterring a violence. In Sikhism, they say nirbhav nirvair.
Right.
Abhi Sikhon ko dekh lo. They protected India. And they were devotees, and their one practice was chanting Om. And when you are creative, when you are a singer, you're also a good warrior.
Right.
You're not fighting to control others, but protect others, protect life. That is going to happen in future because people are going to become independent in their taking care, because morality is keeping people manipulated all the time. You judge your aggression.
You judge every aspect of all times. And if you become very sensitive to your own perception, like we were discussing, I learned that through the silence method of Vipassana, you realize it's everything from the way you wake up to the way you brush your teeth. You have small judgments attached to everything that stop you from experiencing the said thing at all. I remember the first time I was in Vipassana, there was a moment in 5 or 6 days where I looked at the grass and I finally saw grass. And I was 25 years of age when first time I saw a blade of grass properly. Because what generally happens is I look at the grass and I have a picture of grass. I have a concept of grass. And that gets imputed onto the grass. And I look at the concept, never the grass itself. I went to the teacher running. I said, listen, I don't know why I'm seeing in high definition. I can see the drops on a grass blade. And the teacher said, now you are finally seeing. And it took me 3 days to just wrap my head around that idea that most of us walk in a low resolution, like, oh, the wall, okay, grass. Like we just walk like this all the time.
95% what we call living is nothing but thoughts. Only 5% we live in 70 years. The rest is just ideas about things. And for example, the way you saw the grass, that's exactly the point. When you look at the judgments like that also, they dissolve. Because when I say somebody is bad, I have an emotional content with it. I have a judgment and a story. But when I just look at it, it's just a thought. It dissolves. Then you can look at a person as they are. Similarly, with your anger, you just have first-hand experience. What is anger? Do you know why we like anger?
Why?
You get angry, right?
Sometimes.
Sometimes you must have gotten angry.
Sure, yeah.
Isn't it a juicy space?
Right. Even sadness is so juicy.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
juicy.
That's the point.
Right.
That juice is a flow of energy. If you don't judge, there is such a spectrum of color into your emotions. And those needs to be expressed and lived. Best artwork came when artists were going through a trauma or a suffering, because your energy gets concentrated in sadness. And you can have insights. When you're happy, you will never get insights.
Yeah. Happiness is a numb state.
When you are in pain, you know why we are suffering in pain? Because our mind cannot think or do anything else. It's only focused on pain.
Right.
That concentration is killing you, not the pain. Your psychology wants some drama, some other distraction, but you are 3 hours just there. It is actually, this is the true process of Kundalini or meditation. When you really focus on something, put your whole energy, you start to dissolve it. But we do not stay with our inner traumas long enough.
Because you're afraid of them.
If you just keep on feeling it, you will say, when Shakti comes in front of Shiva, she starts to unfold her forms. That's what healing is. When Man is looking at a woman without any judgment, without any ideas, without any pornography. She starts to unfold her feminine aspect to her. So everything in an energy is feminine aspect, which we judged and it's blocked. If you just be with her, she starts to reveal herself. That revelation is what Siddhi's new insight is.
Interesting.
So it is about what I am teaching is direct participation with this.
Right.
If you have anger, don't ask me what to do with anger. Feel it, live it.
There's this very interesting thing I heard in an Osho lecture where he said, if you're about to cry, become crying itself, and the crying will disappear. If you're angry, become anger. And I never understood what it kind of means. What does it mean to become anger itself? And the anger does not have that impact on you.
Becoming anger means when anger is there, if you do not have judgment, a word saying, oh, I am angry, I shouldn't be angry, you have become two. One is anger energy and one is the thinking energy.
Right.
But point is when you are anger with anger, because whole point is anger is good or bad or emotion is right and wrong because you judge it. Otherwise, it's pure energy. For example, there's one technique. Shiva says when in rage, freeze, stop, do not move. You're full of rage, just stop. And it will take some time, but you will see rage is there and you're not moving at all. The whole rage will become love after 15 minutes. Same Shakti. You didn't give a usual way out. That's what is in Tantra is saying. You don't ejaculate your energy. You just be with it. It starts to go inwards and upwards because energy is a movement. So your judgments are freezing them inside you. If you don't judge, energy is very liquid. If it doesn't find exact outside, it will move in, become your meditation, become your insight, become your wisdom. But your judgment makes you dumb.
Right.
If you are with the situation, just feel the situation, think of situation, but no judgment. You will start to have insights because you are going to corners which you never looked because of your judgment. I say this is grass, I stop looking at it. When I look, I see insect is moving. There are other plantations also. There is so much details. People who are geniuses, they know details more than us. That's all.
Right.
So how to know detail? Be there, present, looking at every detail. Look at Krishnamurti says very beautiful technique, which is very easy to do. He said, go to a garden, look at everything in the garden. Each detail of the leaves, branches, insects moving. And then after half an hour, close your eyes. Now look at your mind like a garden. Thought aa raha hai, uska thought aaya, this thought came, that thought came. Suddenly you are separated. Now you're seeing mind as an instrument. Otherwise, when thought comes, you think it's me.
And you attach yourself to it and ride it to the end. You act upon it, you push it away or something and it becomes more.
This is true Vipassana. Just looking. Not choosing breath and then saying, oh, it's a negative feeling, I'll let it dissolve. No, you don't say anything. You see, second method, which is not practiced and talked a lot, it's a technique in Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, which says Krishna, like this is Krishna's method. Include everything. Means I am the body, I am the thought, I am the emotions. I am the confusion, I am the sadness. Once you don't say, I am not sadness or I am not the body, when you become one with it, duality disappears. Whole suffering is of the duality. When anger comes, you become one with it. You don't judge. You will see it comes like a wave and settles.
Right.
You don't have to look for the person to release it on.
Sure. There's something very interesting I heard from you in one of your videos, and it kind of, it was only last night. So I'm assuming, I don't know how long it lasts, but it's made my life at least 10% better, only one sentence, which was, when you're doing something, you will notice there is always a contradicting energy also that you're trying to produce. I am doing this, but maybe I should not. And then if you just drop the contradiction, then doing it becomes easier and your life becomes more blissful. Am I understanding this properly?
Yes, you understood it perfectly.
Right, and it's constantly happening. Should I say this, but I should not, right? Like, should I do this, but I should not?
That is the secret, man. It's as simple as that. You become each action. When you're sitting, just sit. When you're drinking, just drink.
Right.
You will become cosmic movement. And that cosmic movement is creative, is love, is wisdom.
I learnt about you from a video that went very viral. I'm sure you know the one that I'm talking about.
Very first one. You are not looking at it. It's enjoying the show.
we're not enjoying the show. If you say, I love this to this empty, vast cosmos, you think there will be no response? Really, people will use this logic to say the contrary, that there will be no response. But we never try, you know. Till you don't stop complaining, it won't show you her face. You have to say, I am willing to see. It's a dare, man. Inviting life to interact with you directly. Be ready to go crazy, because socially you will be called crazy, because you could start talking on the way, on the road. People think you're imagining, but you are not. It's the true most conversation you're having with life. Because whatever you say, think, every particle of life vibrates. We are that impactful, and we don't know that.
That's what bhakti is. I exist.
Right.
And I don't exist alone.
Sure.
I have a wisdom, I have a mind, I have a heart. That means I am the blueprint of something else. Otherwise, I cannot pop out of nothingness with heart and mind and everything. So there must be a totality.
From which I have come.
And you are connecting with it.
But what happens when you say, I love you to the cosmos? Like, how does your life change? Because I feel, I'll give you a little more context on this. I was driving with a friend of mine and I was mentioning that I'm going to be speaking to you. And I played this video and they're non-Indian, so they understand English better, and they understood this. And I said, I don't know, it feels right, but I don't know how. That there is something to this idea of saying, I love you to the cosmos that would change the way my life operates. But I can't figure out what it is. So what is it?
Like Krishna says in Gita somewhere, in the beginning 3-4 chapters, जो मुझे जैसा भजते हैं, उन्हें मैं वैसा ही प्रकट होता हूँ. Howsoever you perceive me, I'll appear to you like that. And this is also proved into this physics laboratories and all that. That the electrons, neutrons, whatever you call them, they reflect whatsoever is in front of them. They start to become like that. If you say life is accidental, your life will become accidental. If you say life is beautiful, life will become beautiful for you. Because there is not one cosmos, there are 7 billion cosmoses going on. That is the creativity of life. So when you say, I love this, love reflects back. And that is the change which happens to you. Because you only receive what, life is an echo point, let's say.
Right.
You say asshole, you will say somebody saying asshole. Right. You say beautiful and you say beautiful. So that's what it is, you know. Because it's you only. There's a martial arts. This guy took out the video because he said, I don't want to propagate it. It's a special method of non-violent martial arts. This guy goes to hit him with a stick. And this guy is completely non-resistant statting. When stick goes there to him and it strikes him. You understand? Echo. Agar kehte hain ki if somebody is enlightened, you give them a gali and there is nobody there, now your gali will return like what, you know, boomerang.
Right.
Comes back to you. So whatever you are vibrating out, it will reflect back to you. So we are vibrating worries and fears. We are creating them because you are a Brahma. You are a creator. Each thought is forming you. But if you say, I love you, you have given birth to yourself in a new cosmos where everything is loving you back.
I still have some, like...
You have to ask it more technically than I can answer you, because
Sure.
Right now I can explain you as much I can explain.
No.
Depends on your question.
Nah, okay. That's fine. No, I mean, what I'm saying is, I do understand this idea that if I hand generosity out, generosity will find me. Someone else will be further generous to me. It will almost be that I attract that kind of energy, right? Like, if I go out and I look for beauty will, or not even look for beauty, but appreciate the world for its beauty, more beauty will appear to me. It's almost like my eyes and my body and my mind are rewired to approach that system better. And so I almost felt like if I go out and saying that I love whatever is happening, more love will find me.
Yes.
And my life, probably the dominant emotion of my life is going to be love, as opposed to, for most people, it is stress or worry or something of that nature. Right? Have I understood this properly?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay.
Another thing I would like to add is that we never notice. Appreciation is the deepest point. Appreciation and gratitude. Look, your breath is going by itself. Your heart is beating by itself. Your food digests by itself. Sun is giving you energy and you feel not cared. something must be wrong with us. Once you feel this, first time you feel what mother is. 24/7 without a pause, it's constantly maintaining you. Once you start to feel this maintaining, tears will come to your eyes, you will start to dance. Your fear will disappear because you are in the lap of the mother. You are into lap of this present moment. But it's not a philosophy. It has to be felt. It has to be seen. But nobody is really in the present. Otherwise, present is not just a gap between past and future. Present is a living being. Like your woman is a living being, but she has become your wife or something. Otherwise, that living being is cosmic. So once you're in the present, you start to feel this movement of energy, which we call love. The undivided flow of energy is love.
Sure.
When you are not judging energy, whatever you do is love then. Not love, the emotional, romantic love we talk about.
Right.
Or an ethical kind of love, I love thee and whatever.
Right.
The whole, because love means heart chakra. Heart chakra means manifestation chakra. Sky is above, earth is down. They meet, male, female meet, and light is created. This is Tripura Sundari, the present. Its by nature is called Amrit. It's eternal. Have you ever seen any moment when you were not in the moment?
No, it's
this
impossible.
Is always on.
Yeah.
It's always on, and if still we doubt, we wonder what is eternal. We wonder what is God.
Wow, that's beautiful.
But we're not looking. If you look, you don't have to say I love you. That very appreciation, life starts to appreciate you back. So it's being there.
Right.
Being with yourself first.
Right.
Only then you can be with somebody else. So this point is very important, that appreciation and participation. Forget about enlightenment, forget about material success. These two things will make you bloom in every angle. Because life, whom you think materiality belongs to? Humans? No. It belongs to life only. And who are you? Life. Who does spirituality belong to you? Enlightened people? No. To life. So these are your two wings, or root and the flower. Once you're present, you will see that you are extended upward and downward. That's what the symbolic meaning of Dhanush Ban. When you hold the bow, one is spiritual, other is material. You hold on to spiritual, you can't shoot arrows.
No.
You hold on to material, you can't shoot arrows. But the right tension, too much tension, it'll break. Too much loose, it will not
work.
Shoot. Balanced tension, you can shoot. So don't make a choice, spiritual or material, stay there. Both are there. Any emotion comes, don't say I don't want it or I want it. Be with it. You will see that energy becomes yours. What you're fighting, your anger, you're saying wrong, you are handicapping yourself by cutting your own energy. This is anger.
Sure.
I say how to get rid of it. I cut my hand or I just relax. It's my power only.
Right.
So that's what spirituality does to you. All your energy distorted and stuck in different mindsets and emotions, you withdraw your energy back. It becomes your power. That's how you become powerful, when you stop wasting into blockages, into unnecessary thoughts. That gathered energy is creativity, love, prosperity. You cannot solve it with psychology. It's not possible. I was seeing this interview. This guy was asking people in New York on the road, all psychiatrists, have you healed anybody? Everybody's going,
Right. I've seen that. There is much to say about, I think being able to talk about your emotions is probably one fractional, sometimes maybe more than a fractional part of solving the problem. Because at first, you must have to deal with the realization that there is a problem, right? There might be this pain in the darkness. You might have a thorn in your foot, but you cannot look at the foot and you cannot identify the thorn. And for that matter, speaking to somebody you pay, to understand, there might be sense to it. We do it between friends, we do it with family. But to assume that either that is the solution, or for that matter, psychiatry, which is administering mathematically calculated medicines to a person's brain, not his mind, which are two completely different, ununderstood phenomena. So I think the way science approaches the mind is completely deficient. As a matter of fact, I studied psychology at one of the world's best universities. I was privileged in that way. And I remember just going through those classes, even as a 25, 26-year-old being, they got it wrong. The minute you start to tell me I'm 7 happy, what the hell does 7 happy mean? Of 1 to 10, how happy are you? I don't know. What is your 10? What is my 10? And not just that, there's several issues in the study of psychology, for instance. It studies behavior, not thought. You cannot study thought.
Yeah.
And so I've always found that art, literature, metaphor, spirituality, religion is a way better way to understand how the mind works than psychology. Maybe psychoanalysis is interesting, but that's what I come to find. The other thing I know from certain experience with spirituality is that you can say all of this theoretical stuff. These theoretical stuff, these thoughts are almost like, they're like alcohol. They get you high a little bit. And if you were to truly be high, then you would move on to the practice. If you enjoy that one sip once in a while, you would come listen to these thoughts, get a little intoxicated and then come back.
That's mostly how gurus are used.
Yeah. And that is mostly what our population is used to.
Yeah.
It's that small little hit and then I can move 10 days and then come back for it. And so I get all these thoughts. I have a sense of them, but there are access points to it. Meditation is famously, or the different forms of meditations are many different access points. And you recommend a lot of meditations. There's a different set of meditations you talk about. Can you tell me a little bit about the meditations?
I always start with people to work on their body first, because that is the root. No need to talk about your branches and flowers and mind and all that. First, unpollute your energy on the body level.
Right.
Move a lot, work with body, shake your body, express your body, dancing and everything. 50% of your problems will disappear from there only.
From dancing?
From dancing, from physically expressing. Like I was telling these guys that I got saved from my social darkness. I started to learn martial arts and painting. I survived that because my energy was finding its expression. I would create, I will punch and everything. Shakti needed to flow. Not a problem needed to be solved, What somebody is doing when they're talking about it, their problem. They want their energy to flow, but they intellectualize it and make it flow, but actual energy did not flow.
Sure.
Hence, it can't help you. We are energy beings. We are not thought beings. So that is the first realization I want people to have. See yourself as electric being. Right now we're talking, it's happening purely in the now. Thoughts are secondary, shadows. Otherwise, this present movement, this is what we call Hanuman. This pure eternal present going on. Amit Vikramaya means eternal action going on by itself. So that is what, for that you use your body, you use martial arts, you use creativity, you use Tai Chi. Because there is a martial arts, for example, Yang movement, aggressive. Tai Chi is Yin movement. So you have to know both your movements, how to be Rudra, how to be Bhadra, how to be hard, how to be soft. So Kundalini meditation, you shake, which is very Rudra. Dancing is balance and sitting still is very Bhadra. So till you do not know the extremes of your being, you cannot do any work in between. People just work only with Bhadra, but when it comes to Rudra, they close their eyes. So that dark aspect overtakes you. That's what our dark side is, shadow side is.
Shadow, yes.
So it's working essentially with the energy. And of course, with the other techniques, slowly then you go roots wise up. From the physical aspect, you work with the energy, your sensuality, your sexuality. Have no judgments. Look at it in a sacred way. Even relate with a woman more from a sacred aspect. See her like a goddess, not some girl, some idea. Then third is thoughts. Creative thought, not a repeated thought. Then dialogue from the heart. Then who you are, throat. 5 elements, but basic trouble is with the first 3 chakras. Physically, we are blocked. Sensually, energetically, pleasure-wise, we are blocked. Thought-wise, we're crammed with too much internet and thoughts.
Agree.
Now you expect self-realization, forget about it.
I don't even expect peace at that point. Self-realization is still a far stretch, right?
But we are not being practical, that you have to first oil your machinery.
Right.
You have to work with the body. And you start to get joy out of it. Then that joy is the point, not enlightenment, not liberation, that joy of movement. Why you think this is going on? You think it's some efficiency? It's a abundance and joy of energy which is forming mountain rocks, galaxies and galaxies are taking birth. And once you acknowledge that joy and bring that joy to your life, you become the Brahma. You are the Brahma, but it's not a concept. It's the way you move. That's why I was saying in Tai Chi, you move. We have 3 movements, in us. Any given moment, mental movement, this mind, I want to pick a cup, right? Then there's the emotional movement that I like something, I'm going for it, emotion. But at the same time, it's a cosmic movement also. Nothing is your personal movement. How to come from the mental movement to the cosmic movement in you? That is the Swadharma aspect. So that can be experienced from head, you shift to your navel center. The primal animal into you. And we judge that animal.
Yeah. I think all of society is a moral superstructure to do away with that animal. Right?
Look at a child, no?
Sure.
He's touching. First 3 years is in bliss. He's just feeling from the navel. All enlightened people become navel-centered. All the people in darkness are mind-centered. Everything is a thought, a concept. But here, in your belly, hara, which martial arts use, which is your intuition center, there you're connected with the cosmic database. You just know what is right thing to do. You don't need justification.
Right.
And that's the point of it.
That's
the juice of it.
There is a point in my life where I was very anxious, as they said. Lot of worry, lot of stress, lot of thinking, lot of fear, all of these things happening. And I had a friend who said, Prakhar, she said something along the lines of, you don't act from your intuition or instinct or something of that nature. And in that moment, I was like, I don't even know how to access my intuition. Like, I know what you're saying. I have previously been able to do that. Now I think I'm somewhat regaining my intuition. But for a long enough period of time, I didn't know what my intuition or my instinct was. And I feel like you're coming at something similar about the navel. Am I like,
yes.
Yeah. So what is happening there? Like, why am I not able to access my intuition, and what does that have to do with my navel?
Repression of sensuality, sexuality disconnects you from intuition.
And sexuality does go down at that time. At least the base act of sexuality. When you're that stressed and whatever, it's common knowledge.
Because then that is the way to release it. When you're in stress.
Right.
Your Shakti has no other way. So you want to release it, release the tension. But point is, if you are disconnected from your sensuality, you cannot stay connected with your navel center. You will come somewhere here up there. Even this is blocked because emotional repression. So this diaphragm is blocked.
So you don't breathe properly.
You breathe up only.
Right.
That's why there is a erectile dysfunction happening, because you're not breathing till the end. In Taoism, they say you should breathe till the foot thumb. It should go all the way down, but our breath stays up here.
How does it go all the way down?
Prana. Not the air, man.
Okay.
Your whole body breathes. You know that? If I paint your body with oil paint, you will die within 2 minutes, because every cell breathes in the prana and breathes out the prana. So your whole body should breathe in. Then you will feel, I am the cosmos. Cosmos is breathing in, breathing out through me. That is the experience of this navel center. You are not separate. This is the mother center. You're connected with the cosmic network from here.
Right.
And that is what your Swadharma is. This design, you are aware as an instinct that what you are supposed to do in life. But that is repressed to make animal adult slave in the society.
Well said. Right.
So the whole process, if you look at it in detail, we are being trained to become slaves. All education system, everything is saying, be nice to others, be obedient. Means what you say matters, what I feel does not matter. So we are disconnected. So there's one technique which works very powerfully, that this circulation of spine in round. You will start to get centered into, no, you have to do it slowly. You do it very, very slowly and feel where the movement is coming from. It is coming from the base. If you keep on doing with awareness, you will get centered there. It will take a week. Then you will feel you are a different animal sitting in the room, because your whole attention has moved from the mind to the navel.
Very interesting.
And also you will feel sexuality. But if you don't have a judgment or want to ejaculate and release, that is your power gathering. You see, samurai has a big bellies, not because they're fat. Your energy starts to gather. They would judge somebody's wisdom in Japan through how big their belly is, because they're carrying that. They're not here. Huge heads. This is no head at all. Head does not exist. Belly exists. There, you are a vital, charismatic energy being.
Very interesting.
For example, if you are doing Tai Chi kind of thing and in the belly, you will feel females are getting attracted to you.
Just automatically.
Just automatically.
Well, that's a secret.
Many guys will say, yes. Let's connect Satya Ji.
Kal se Tai Chi bulao bhai ghar mein.
Because this is, I see guys talking to girl, मैंने ये किया, मैंने वो किया, वो उसको देख रही है. अरे be here, feel her vibration.
Right. Right.
क्या तू बातें कर रहा है, बता रहा है. मतलब, this is very childish. You know?
Right.
You're not looking, you're not feeling what is sitting. But when you are here, you sense. But people get uncomfortable because if I can feel you, you can't hide from me.
Spot on. If you can make eye contact, there is no hiding.
There is no hiding.
Yes.
And if you're seeing from belly, not just looking and here and there, you're just seeing, I just know what's going on. And that's why we are avoiding any kind of energy connection, energy touch. As I said in one video that only time when rebellion happens in society is when couples fall in love. They connect with their energy. Though don't give a shit about anything social. They say, I don't care. I will die for her. Where that is coming from? You first time become aware of a different joy. Now you don't want to let it go. Yes, marriage will kill it.
Sure.
That is different.
Yeah.
You killed it. But that energy is what courage is.
Huh.
A warrior who lives there, he is not afraid of dying because he knows this energy, the joy of it is so amazing. And this center protects us also. You know, animals live from this center. If I am connected here, you come to talk to me, I know whether I am going to like you or not. Not by the judgment. Just my system will say,
Right.
Another is smell. If I don't like your smell, it won't work. Nothing will work between us.
Because?
Because smell is related with the body. Your first introduction of your chemical wisdom is through the smell. If my nose does not like your smell, means something in your system, frequency, it won't work. In Africa, there are some marriages happening by smelling each other. The smell you like the best is the one you marry.
There is science to that, yes.
So that science is hidden from us. Everybody is perfumed. Then you feel betrayed once you marry. Then you say, oh shit, she smells.
No, spot on.
Marriage is not going to work.
Right.
So
the research is that you are able to tell your immunological, like how well you would go immunologically when you try to make babies by the smell. And this is an ancient technology available to us. But the scents have actually hidden it from everyone. And it's a real thing, yes.
I tell youngsters that, when you want to get into a relation, tell her not to take shower, tell him not to take shower for 2 days. Then meet, then smell each other. And now being more visual, send me your picture when you wake up in the morning.
Right. See you at the lowest.
I want to see that face and smell. Then I'll decide. Now you're being very practical,
Right.
This is most practical thing. Chalo beta, ek dusre ko smell karo, then you tell us whether you like or not,
Right.
That should be the thing.
That relationships fall apart at their lowest. And so you must be prepared for the worst. Like when it is kind of okay or good, there will not be a falling out as such. It will not destroy the relationship. But it is when you wake up in the morning, when you look your ugliest, that the other person will be turned off. Or when you haven't showered in 3 days and smell the worst, that the other person will be turned off.
Yeah.
And so my very trivial advice to people who ask me about relationships is make sure you know how you fight. Because that is the worst moment you are having in some way, right? How ugly that gets will determine the future of your relationship.
You see, as I say to people, which is a Aghori way, which is more like organic way, I have to, if I'm in a relation with you, I have to allow you to hate me also. I have to allow you to angry with me also. Because you are a whole rainbow of emotion. I welcome all aspects of you. Only then love will sustain and maintain. But we say, you can't get angry with me. You can't say this. You can't be irritated. Then I am being tamed into a nice guy all the time. If I can't get angry, my energy needs an expression. So other is available for that. and not judging it, I will feel more love because I can flow.
Right.
I remember once I had a big breakup fight with my girlfriend and we fought with each other and she slapped, I slapped and everything. I thought it was over. But that very evening we fell in love again. Because 2 years of garbage gathered, released into slapping each other and I'm not propagating slap.
Yeah.
Just talking about that. Right today, I don't feel like talking to you.
Right.
It doesn't mean relation is ending. I need to go away. This should be accepted and allowed. Because coming together means next clap will come when both hands are away.
Right.
So it should be breathe in, breathe out. Be together, be away. Sometimes I don't like you, it's okay. But we start to doubt, oh, why I'm not feeling love?
Right.
Is it ending?
Right.
So you see, energy expression. Same is about that in relations, that if I am attracted to a woman, that means I am a human animal which will attract other women also. I shouldn't be told, I'm not saying go and sleep. I shouldn't be told don't feel that.
Right.
Whom you're trying to deceive, he must be feeling, she must be feeling.
Right.
Accept it.
Right.
Only then she's alive and expanding. That's why she will love for you. But if you ask her to shrink and open only with me, that's not possible.
And therefore, nobility is possible. That I have all these females I am attracted to, but I reserve my intimacy for you. The choice of reserving my intimacy for you, that nobility, I think comes from the base that, yes, there are options. There are many people. I cannot blind myself to the idea that I am not attracted to many people or she's not attracted to many people. Am I understanding?
And, yes. And there is a science behind why to maintain one relation also. That whenever we have physical intimacy with somebody, there is an exchange of karmic patterns also. If you're sleeping with too many partners, your whole system gets confused. You start to live other people's karmas. It's not hunky-dory happy thing, I fuck around and I'm fine. No, your whole system is being corrupted because the electric exchange, sir. And with that, I am taking in your personality. Haven't you seen certain company within 2-3 days, you start to behave differently? What is happening?
Right.
Exchange of karma. So multiple relations, you start to live other people's karmas into your system. So once you understand this, then you will choose one partner, but you will give out a fragrance that will attract, you respect that, be friends. But physically, you have to be kind of having your own Durga, your own fort. Nobody else should enter. But that I can maintain if I am allowed to walk around also. Not to feel suffocated by the will or jealousy of one person.
Right.
That way the friendship has to be there. This is another human being who decided to be with me. So has as many friends. You know, for example, your personality need many kind of expressions. One woman or one man is not enough. Psychologically, I mean.
Sure.
With some people, you feel certain talks you cannot talk with your boyfriend or girlfriend. Talk with them, express with them. So you're knowing all your colors.
Right.
That brings in your rainbow of what love is, you know. It's a rainbow. You know, heart also has 7 chakras.
The heart itself has 7 chakras.
Because it's an expression of 7 energies in us.
And those energies are?
All 7 chakras.
Oh, okay, fair. Okay, I understand. So as a sort of litmus test, whenever I engage in conversations that have anything to do with, for that matter, philosophy, spirituality, the body, etc., I ask, or I aim to ask about sex, right? And well, we were discussing earlier about how love is not understood as love. It is understood as this modern manifestation of romantic love. Almost as if Romeo Juliet extracted is love and all other forms of love or whatever. Like people don't necessarily understand. Similarly, I think sex is distorted as well. I think the questions around sex, people have many opinions. What is the position of sex in society? What is the position of sex in someone's personal life? How must one understand sex and sexuality?
You see, we have to go to the childhood first, that once a child masturbates, he's feeling guilty and wrong. In the beginning, he's not. He's just enjoying his Shakti. Then parents see it, they say, what are you doing? So first trauma happens with your own pleasure and feel of the body. And there you are corrupted. Now, whenever you will engage into that, you will have in the background this thing. I'm not doing something right. Or opposite has happened to the West. From repression to they went to overindulgence. That is still a repression, expressed in overexpression. Whole point, what we call Durga, Kundalini Shakti, is the sexual energy, which has capacity to create new life.
Sure.
How that can be wrong or bad. But we are trained, and because male-female interaction is controlled and made part of social this thing, we have disconnected from the pure energy of it, feel of it. For example, I tell youngsters that you cannot stop masturbating, but at least do not pollute your energy during masturbation.
Do not feel guilty about it.
Do not use pornography. Just enjoy the feel all over your body, how it's alive and vibrating. In that, because if I'm carrying certain dark energy, pornographic energies, when I will have sex with a woman, I will project all those energies into her and alter her energy also. That is the pollution. But if I have a very good connection with my energy, then you start to preserve it also. Because this energy becomes your genius, becomes your creativity, becomes your prosperity. Only one energy is there, the Shakti and Shiva. That's what Nandi represents, Muladhara. Shiva is riding it. Means awareness, its vehicle is basic Kamurja, the sexual force. That sexual force is the efficiency, the creativity of everything. So the strategy of society is, if your energy becomes contradictory within, you will become a weaker person. You will be easier to control. If you are in good connection with your energy, with your sexuality, you will not compromise. You know yourself as a Shakti, as a energy, not as a psychology, which is about right and wrong, good and bad. So if we want a new healthy humanity, we have to teach people. People have to learn about their sexuality, completely free from any outer pressure.
Right.
It is just energy, which is giving you joy and you're feeling, oh, I need to. Another is ejaculation psychology. Tantra is saying to you that enjoy the circulation of energy. It doesn't want to really ejaculate. When you are sharing with a woman, she receives and gives you energy back. This circulation starts to enliven and expanding your aura. You both become very powerful. In Tantra, ejaculation is allowed only when you want to give birth to a baby. Otherwise, you circulate energy. So a couple, when they go without ejaculation, for example, they can keep on feeling this attraction all the time.
Right.
That'll be so amazing, oh?
Right. But how do you stop?
Sex, like 2-3 days, you're saying, okay, don't show me your face.
Right, real.
But this electric feel will make you very powerful. You know, there were couples in India, 100,000 years back or something, they used to live in one robe, naked. And Indians killed them, shunned them out of the, tantrics were destroyed because they were approaching Shakti directly without any social good, right, wrong. They would interact with each other through energy. But our psychology is, the more ambitious a person is, more he will suffer from premature ejaculation. Because you want to reach goals. You do not know how to just feel and enjoy the energy and circulate it. Same is with anger. Same is with anything. Any pain comes, you want to, oh, this is happening, that is happening. But if you just be with it and feel the vibration of it, you are learning a sustaining power, of containing power. That containing power is what becomes your prosperity and intelligence. So essentially the basic flaw lies in our approach towards sexuality and our own body also.
Right. So we see sexuality as this isolated act of animalistic sex,
Yes.
when in fact it is the combined energy of our body, and that is where the flow of energy sort of begins. It's the flow that allows us to create, which is what makes us so unique. And so first we need a reimagination of what sexual energy is and see it as that. On a personal front, if you are a man or a woman who is ejaculating, do not pollute with pornography, because that pollutes further down the line.
Yes.
Right? And how much sex should a person be having? Is there, how should one approach sex in their personal life?
You see, if you look at sex, what is the essential drive? Essential drive is not the sex we know. It's longing to create. If you want to understand, I gave this example on my talk. If you want to understand what's male psychology, take a deep breath in and hold it. This longing to breathe out is the male sexuality. And female sexuality, breathe out and hold your breath. Longing to take in is the female sexuality. But what this circulation of energies, it has ability to create. So Osho said that if you want to really go beyond sexuality, you have to become super creative in your life. Because when I'm having sex with a woman, it's not about the sensation and the idea of pornography. My energy is now creating. Going to create a baby, but it's another thing, condom comes in between or whatever.
Right.
But otherwise, it's the drive essentially is to create. So if you understand, let's not call it sexuality, but creativity, then you will see dimensions open up. If you start to dance, if you create more, think of projects and expand your energy, your drive for sexuality, psychological sexuality will disappear. When body needs, like for example, Tantra technique says that Shiva says, stay in the beginning. Don't go for orgasm, just keep on foreplaying with each other. After 1 hour, you will feel satisfied. But if you have psychology is not into how to release it, then your energy will circulate all over your body. You'll be healthier and more vibrant. But what we do is we keep our energies on the Mooladhara. Our other chakras are not open. We are blocked, emotionally blocked. But once sexual energy starts to move inside you, it starts to circulate through your whole system. Many things will come up also. It's like a healing. So that circulation, because the whole river path is blocked. Psychologically, sensually, judgments. So you are kind of looking to release the stress. Because creativity is a power. It can feel like a stress also.
Right.
But if you know how to, like one meditation which Osho said that first dance together.
Right.
Then sit down, do humming together. So you start to feel other as an energy being. Then start to touch. You will feel a different phenomena altogether. Otherwise, two minds are coming and using their body to create a friction and release energies. This is what we call sex. It's not sex. It's masturbation using the other's body.
Yeah.
You don't extend out and enter other and circulate the other into you.
I kind of follow. And if I were to access my sexual energy in this way, or for that matter, if I were to realize that energy and sexuality have so much to do with each other, your preferred way, like you'd mentioned earlier, was first starting with a little bit of shaking, then this free flow dancing. Is there a specific way to this shaking or dancing? The reason I'm asking this question is, let's say if somebody was to start today and they were to start with this meditation that you gave me, which is first shaking, then dancing. Is there a specific way in which I'm doing this practical aspect of things?
Yeah, there is a whole technique with it. There are 4 music steps. First 15, 15, 15, 15. First 15 minutes, you shake your body.
In a specific way or just randomly like this?
No, you have to shake from your legs, whole body you have to shake.
Theek.
So you have to shake very aggressively. So all the stored energies into your muscular system will start to open up, heat up. Then you will feel many things coming up. You will feel very aggressive. You will feel you want to scream and shout. So just keep on shaking. And once energy is awake, then next step you bring it to the expression. Because energy wants expression, not want ejaculation. So you start to dance and express. It will open your creativity. And once you have expressed, third step, you sit down, become absolutely still. Now body is still, your energy is moving inside. It starts to open other channels and it activates your third eye, the wisdom. You settle into Jnana Shakti. Trishul dekha hai na? Ichha Shakti is the shaking, awakening your basic energy. Kriya Shakti is the dancing and sitting still is the Jnana Shakti. These 3, if you become fluid and flowing, it will take 1 month, 2 months, then you will notice your whole personality is changing. Yes, you have to be watch out. You may become volatile with other people. Before you were nice and repressing, then you will not take any shit.
Right.
So that has to be considered.
Right.
It's okay to be an asshole when it's for your health.
Right. Sure.
Otherwise, you go home and bitch about person for months.
You know? Imagine I could have said that to them. Yeah, right.
That mindfuck is much worse
than
just saying, listen, I do not like this. Please do not say it. You will not feel angry. But usko कहने दिया, You let him say, and then you go home and mindfuck about it for 2 months.
Right. What is the
Lesser
point?
evil is just
Right.
So this shaking will break the blockages of energy into your meridian system. That's what Ganesh mantra does. If you chant Ganesh mantra, it will open all your meridian points. That's why Ganesh mantra is used before any sadhana. First, your energy system has to be flowing smoothly. And I tell you, if you do all this, then you do Vipassana, you will see a very different, beautiful experience. Because in a deep way, Vipassana is also a bhakti. To be with this and let the beloved move, you just watch and listen. Isn't that bhakti? Isn't that being with somebody, just enjoying the company? But we're doing Vipassana, watching, going beyond Maya. We have made it an efficiency.
Right.
Otherwise, just be with and enjoy. That is bhakti.
Right. Right. I've also found, in fact, my understanding of love is consequential and unavoidable to silence.
Yes.
With enough silence, you are automatically filled with love.
Yes.
Like the experience of leaving Vipassana, or for that matter, talking for the first time after your tremendous, you are just filled with so much love for the cosmos.
You know why was that?
Why?
Non-dual energy in you, which becomes love.
Sure.
When you're watching, slowly you're withdrawing from your judgments. Now you're pure energy. And by nature, pure energy is Lakshmi, the love. Is constantly expanding and expanding and expanding. That's why they said, I am infinite. Not some thought.
Right.
You actually feel you're plugged in everywhere.
Right.
But you have to be present and energy in a non-dual state. Undivided energy. We get divided by our thoughts. So essentially, this Kundalini process is to experience yourself as Shakti.
Sure.
As pure energy. And we have fears with that. Because there you will encounter your animal.
I have actually heard, I want to come to Kundalini. I have actually heard a lot about this, which is to the effect that after my last Vipassana experience I was mentioning before, it was extremely loud. Like it was almost, I couldn't do it again for a while. I was like, I don't want to meditate. The sensations I felt on my body were overwhelming. I was telling you, fear of a magnitude where even with all the wisdom of being with the fear, I could not be with the fear. And once I got out and I had access to resources, at this point I hadn't looked into Kundalini, something came across me which was talking about Kundalini. And I started wondering if, and you know how they talk about Kundalini on the internet, it's almost a gimmick.
Yeah.
Your Kundalini, the serpent is rising, and if it rises before, you will lose your mind. And there's all this fear built around Kundalini. I think my feel was that the way people talk about Kundalini is almost like a comic book version of an encyclopedia, right? And so help me understand, what is Kundalini, and is it really the fear-based ecosystem around Kundalini? Is that true? You read so many accounts of people on Reddit and Twitter saying, boss, I lost my mind, I hear voices, I can travel through things, and that is because my Kundalini awoke before it was supposed to. Is that, what is this?
You see, we have 3 layers of energy. Superficial layer, then emotional layer, then the cosmic layer within us.
Right.
You know? So what we call Kundalini is the dormant force in us, which is resting at the base of our spine.
Right.
So without Kundalini, you can't even lift your hand. So Kundalini is all there. So when we are doing shaking, so there are 2 types of methods. One is yogic method, where you use specific breathing and specific techniques to make your energy go up. There you need a guru and right techniques. Otherwise it can go wrong.
It can go wrong.
Yes. But what I am prescribing, what I am sharing is, it's a spontaneous way of Kundalini. You first activate your energy, because yogi is not going to express and dance. So he has to know the right techniques, right methods, right mantras to keep on channeling it rightly. If you make a little mistake, it will burn you. Because you have played with the nature. You see, all yogic methods are unnatural, by the way. They're not spontaneous. You're forcing something to come up.
Right. You are using sounds for vibrations, and then vibrations are producing, right?
But you can still use the vibrations, but without making any business with life. You understand what I'm saying? If I'm saying, if I do this, then I'll get this powers.
Right.
Now you are in a wrong state of mind. There, life will do a deal with you also. It will, if you make a mistake,
life will cut you out.
It will cancel you out.
Right.
You will not get any loan anymore.
Right.
But when you are doing just to participate with life, that's what I am sharing. Shaking means your intention is to remove the blockages from your Shakti. When Shakti starts to move, you give it an expression. So this is like tasting that Kundalini drop by drop. It slowly starts to activate all your chakras in a spontaneous way. Each chakra, whatever it is supposed to live, you give it an expression. But yogi is avoiding first 2. Then with this also, everything is attachment and thoughts are problem. So of course, that is fine. You go through that. This is fire method. Fire means dropping everything unuseful and becoming pure. Other is the water method, which is Taoism, Tai Chi and Tantra, where you are containing your water and water starts to rise, opens your chakras. It's more spontaneous way. You're not forcing, but you are gathering. In that gathering, so with shaking, you first release the blockages. Energy starts to flow, you give it an expression. So your system becomes smooth. Then after that, now you are qualified to do meditations. Now when you will sit for meditation, energy will spontaneously move to the third eye, to whichever chakra you doing meditation with. It starts to flow through that. That flow is like a Sahaj kind of, Sahaj yoga, you know.
Right. Effortless.
For example, Taoism does not work on Kundalini, but they say don't resist thing. When you don't resist thing, your energy starts to gather. You are losing energy only by fighting with things. Gussa aaya, why there is anger? Why there is this? Why there is thought? If thought is there, you don't say anything. It's okay. So you're conserving. That conserved energy starts to open up and starts to rise higher. And you will not have a problem with that because you're not pushing, you're not putting it on fire with some LSD, with some ayahuasca or with some pranayam techniques and focusing on third eye without having any roots. You will go crazy. What you are giving out to me is your energy flowing out through me, to you. But if you really focus, then it will start to activate your Kundalini also.
So, shaking will activate that energy. Dancing will give it form.
Yeah, that is Durga, shaking. Dancing is Lakshmi, expression.
Expression. And is there a specific way I'm dancing? No.
Allow the body. You have to give permission to Shakti to flow, not to control your woman, how she wants to make forms. This will multiply your wisdom. Because what is idiot is, his wisdom moves only in few channels. What is genius is, goes everywhere. Try this with your body. Allow your body to make forms for 1 month. You're thinking, you're breaking boxes.
Right.
Breaking out of boxes into your head. Because you are doing different movements through the body. It's the mother center. Whatever you do with this, it will change your psychology also.
I have a friend, a very close friend actually, very spiritually inclined in certain ways. And he had a moment, I think about 3 or 4 years ago, he mentions there was this one moment he was dancing and suddenly he either decided to or it spontaneously, he lost control of his body. And since then, he can, like he spontaneously gets into a dance which is very weird to look at. It does not look like any dance anywhere in the world. But it is so natural and flowy that there is a grace to it that you cannot ignore. I have seen people walk across halls to say, how are you doing this? And he doesn't truly understand and he calls it his flow. He says, this is my flow and it unlocked one day.
In Tantra, they call it Mahamudra. He has somehow tapped into the cosmic movement within.
He's very effortless in his way of being as well.
Because it's moving effortlessly. And if you allow, that's the whole point of Kundalini and dancing. A point will come when you will realize amazing things are coming out of you. Not only that, you will start to have amazing ideas also coming out of box. Because you are now in beat with the present, which is constantly expanding and changing. Otherwise, we are living a life in beat with our past. We want to repeat it.
Right.
This is fresh and new. And in dancing, you connect with if you really totally dance, don't hold back. First, your mind will get released, then emotions will get released. And the third step, cosmic will take over. And there is a fear involved there. That's why people are afraid to go there.
What is the fear?
Fear is of losing control, man.
Losing your mind.
Losing control, not your mind.
Okay.
Your mind has been expressed through dance. You cannot go crazy with dancing. You can go crazy with doing sitting meditation and some technique because unexpressed energy will explode in your pressure cooker. But in expression, in spirituality or in any relation, anything which can give you beyond experience, we control because you can lose control. Your mind will say, I cannot control this. It just comes and flows through me. And mind wants to control it, make it a commodity to use.
Right. Make it a box. I can identify this, right?
And that's what surrender means. I leave it to you. This is the actual experience. It gives you a choice. Here I am. Can you let go?
You know, I often joke with him. I say, he's a male friend of mine. I say, you're almost like a woman. And it's a joke between us. But what I'm really trying to say is you're very tapped into your female. Because you flow, you surrender. Like life does not inhibit him in the same way it inhibits me. You know? I'm like, yaar, tere saath itna bura hua hai. Why aren't you upset?
I have to meet this guy.
Yeah, I have to bring him to you.
Here, you know.
I will make sure he watches this podcast because I know he will connect with your message. When I heard of you saying that you must dance without being interrupted by your mind, I was reminded of him. The third step, you say sit silently because then energy will move up.
Don't move at all because this is creating a blank page of the body. Because you see, we are always moving, always doing something.
Right.
So your Shakti is always extrovert engaged. But when you become absolute still, like a rock, now energy has nowhere to go. It starts to move in and open other channels. You have activated, danced. Now it will go into deeper channels. So it is like kind of going into your roots inside. And it will activate your wisdom aspect, your heart aspect.
And then I lay down.
You lie down.
For 15 minutes?
You bring it to the back neutral. Because if you keep it here and get up and walk, then this energy will be in imbalance. So it's a complete circle. You start with Om, sing your song, and come back to Om.
And when I'm sitting, should I sit with my spine erect?
Spine straight
there is a message.
Or you can keep standing also.
Achha.
But still.
But don't move.
Don't move.
At
because
all.
There you are allowing your Shakti now to move in.
Sure.
Because people just, thoda khujli ho gaya, each here. No.
That Shakti, that khujli and whatever is energy, right? At that moment,
Your mind is not allowing it. You know, this is one of my basic techniques. If you can learn to practice to sit still every 15 minutes, every day 15 minutes, absolute like rock, you will experience your body in an absolutely new way. You will feel such a power. And after sitting half an hour absolutely still, you will notice your movement has a charisma because your energy gathered. Now, whatever you do, it has a power.
Very interesting.
Have you seen Osho entering the Buddha hall?
Yeah.
That charisma is gathered energy. It's energy moving. We are leaking. We are flagging behind the things. But once you, in martial arts also this happens, when you're sitting still and gathering energy, then your movement is so powerful, your gathered energy. And that gathered energy brings prosperity, brings love, brings new ideas, brings wisdom. We are thinking intellectual knowledge will do that. That is a fallacy. That is a male controlled. As you said, your friend becomes feminine. He's in the hand of Durga now. He has to allow it.
It's a very interesting transition because I've seen him before this happened and he was like any of us, very regular. After that, everything from the way he keeps his hair to the way he dresses to the way he behaves completely changed into a very feminine domain, right?
He's blessed, man. He's blessed.
In some ways, I've always thought so.
You see, spiritual, you cannot categorize, you see. Ki kitabon mein aisa likha hai. It is always unique to each individual. It takes years to recognize that enlightenment has happened. Because it's none of the things...
Yeah, it's not extraordinary in any way.
It is you have become... You will not even know you have changed.
Right.
You know, so that's how it works. And this is the goal, man. For example, there was a Russian dancer. He died crazy at young age. You know, he was a ballet dancer, Nijinsky. He would dance, he would take a jump. Humanly impossible. Not only that, he would come down slow. And those Russian Catholic mind or whatever, they thought devil takes over. And he was also living in turmoil. And he kind of died young. In India, he would be worshipped. Ki Guruji,
right.
Hanuman ji aa gaye andar.
Right.
That's the truth. You lose gravity when you are in absolute state of energy and joy. Gravity stop working on you. You are now pure energy floating. How do you think Hanuman
took flight? Yeah, right.
Because no more gravity pulling you. Desire and everything is your gravity. Some monks rise because your energy is now powerful. Grace is pulling you up. So there is a whole tantric method of Mahamudra in which you stand and allow your body to make forms. And then there is other methods for it. It's simple. Point is, a point comes in this movement like in Tai Chi, masters just stand and allow their body to move. This is allowing the cosmic movement to flow through you. We always translate the cosmic energy into emotional or mental energy. We never keep it primal as it wants to flow. That is the pure power and pure genius in us. And that is out of society. No society can control.
Fair. There's a question I want to ask you. I'm not sure if we will end up keeping this in the final cut or not, but I think it's a safe place to ask this question. There's a controversial side to spirituality that has to do with substance. You mentioned LSD and ayahuasca earlier. I'm sure you're abreast. What do you have to say about the Richard Alpert method, which he later became Ramdas? He later found meditation and such. But before that, he was experimenting with LSD in the 70s, right? A lot of people speak about mushrooms and that becoming an access point into realizing the non-dual. What is your opinion on this kind of stuff?
You see, they can give you a glimpse, and if you are using, then keep it there. Don't make it a habit.
Sure.
Because sometimes when you start on spirituality, you have no idea what you're going into if Guru is not around. So sometimes to have substance use, it can give you some picture. Okay, it does exist. Something is there which is beyond me. That can be good inspiration, but it shouldn't become your dependence. Because what you are doing with drugs, because I have to mention this because for many people to listen also, whenever you are taking any drugs, your windows are open. Many kind of energies and spirits make place into your body. I have seen so many guys who are smoking. Half of them I know are possessed by different energies because it's like having sex with too many people. You're sitting with too many people smoking joints. Your system becomes very open. So many energies start to live through you. You start to live other energies, karmas through your body. Then it's not you want to smoke. They want you to smoke. So that you can feed with your prana to their formations. You understand what I'm saying?
Roughly, but yes, I can make a sense.
And many people go crazy because their whole personality changes because you are trespassing. You understand? With drug abuse, you are trespassing into a territory where in Sanatan, we go there with reverence. That Devi, I want to come. Please allow me.
Right.
Here you are popping in a pill or smoking a joint. You are entering there uninvited.
Right.
So there, around us, there are many kind of energies present. If you are not in the right company, in devotion, for example, they say hang out with devotees only. Other people will infect your mind. And everybody is infecting our mind. And what to say about opening your mind open, any kind of energy will start to reside into you. And it takes 9 months to 1 year to clear that impact. Only then you, oh my God, I am still the same. Something in you has come to a pause and it starts to live other people's energies. So this is the danger around it. That's why in India, when Babas do, they do a puja of a plant. They bow down to the plant and they talk to the plant and they evolve the consciousness of the plant. They say that you will enter us and you will evolve through us. Then a special ceremony and chanting, then they smoke. But now you're sitting with every kind of idiot and, fucked up mind and you're smoking with them. So your psyches mix. You become a crowd of energies. And that's what possession is, or ghost riding you. Somebody else's intent, dead or alive, starts to ride your system. This danger nobody talks about. And many addicts, they are not addicted because of the body, they are addicted because the energy residing into them won't let them let go.
Say more about that.
For example, who are you? You are just thoughts, right?
Sure.
If you do not know a center which is not a thought, you are constantly being possessed by internet, by this car, by that car.
Right.
That is a normal accepted level of possession. So when you, for example, take a drug, some energy enters you. You may not take it again, but that energy, that ghost into you, it is living its karmic patterns through your body system. So it will force you to have it again. You will feel this longing, I want to have it, man. It's not you wanting it. That energy in you want to have it. You understand what I'm saying? So you were sitting quietly and suddenly you saw an ad which says you have to have this. Now you want to have it.
Right. It's possession.
It's possession.
Right.
So when you have that kind of mind and you're smoking, many kind of darker energies, which we have many names, and Asur, Rakshas, Jakshini, Dakshini, many levels of energy. According to your makeup, that kind of energies you will attract. For example, you can end up feeling very sexual also. You may want to smoke again and again because that energy inside you, they need a prana to live by. So they found you. They will use your prana to replay their dream. That's what ghost is. Who is in a loop, in a desires loop, and is going on. He's looking for similar bodies to enter where he can play his desire out.
Right.
Right. So that's why these things you have to be very careful when you take. It's very dangerous. I'm not talking only the moral, ethical issues only. On the level of spiritual level, you become crowded with many other entities inside you. And it takes years to clear them. Huh? They keep on controlling your life.
Very interesting.
It doesn't come cheap.
This is a perspective I've never heard. I mean, you generally hear about social, or for that matter, moral dangers associated with
or even medical.
Or medical.
But even medical can't do if they don't treat this aspect as well, that chant mantras and cleanse your system. Only then you will be able to let go of the addiction.
Mantras help letting go of the addiction.
Because you're creating a new, fresh pranic energy where it starts to burn the lanka of the Rakshas inside you. It's a past.
Right.
And only way to burn the past is bring the present light. Hanuman, Ram, or anything. Any present vibration will burn the old formations.
I think at a certain point, either when you're in Delhi or I'm here back again, I want to definitely talk to you about the many metaphors in the Hindu mythological ethos, because I think that's a conversation in itself.
That is one thing we were planning to do it also, me and Jeet.
Right.
And I think it will be a good idea. You should also come.
Sure.
Or you can do separately.
Sure.
Because I want to talk about these various, what Kali means, what Ganesha means, what all these energies means.
Right.
In a contemporary, psychological, understandable sense.
Exactly.
Not some mythology out there and you can't relate.
Not with the separate, as the included. Right?
For example, Kali is electric current of the cosmos with negative, positive. And we are apps. That's why Kali is the great mother. Understand? We have made one with tongue. It's just, they're implying something.
It's a symbol.
She's standing on Shiva's chest. Means this is a dreaming state of Shiva is dreaming Kali. That's why he's lying down, eyes closed. Her right foot is on his chest. That's the dream world. Manifestation world, 52 heads means letters, 52 letters of Sanskrit. Her tongue out means she's all there. It represents the second chakra, for example. So it's pure sensuality. When you're feeling sensual or sexual, you're experiencing your electric being. You're experiencing the Kali.
Interesting.
So more you go into Kali, you're entering, forgetting the computer and the fridge, you're entering that which is running the system. And once you get there, you are into a master code of the cosmos. That's what Ramakrishna was. He said to somebody, which I mentioned in previous interview, that he said that I love Krishna. And Ramakrishna, he said, yes, Kali took that form once. Point is that primal force is Vishnu, is Shiva, is everything. It takes every form. But in itself, it's mystery. So that Kali is the scary also, because beyond your morality, duality, it's just one force, one electric cosmos vibrating.
Wow.
And that is the state of bliss.
Wow.
Once you connect there, then small pleasure, small electric currents, shocks, you will, it's a joke.
Right.
What is each addiction? Little electric shock.
Right.
मजा आ गया. उसके लिए हम जिंदगी रो. और जहाँ पे हर समय चल रहा है आपके अंदर. So that's the point. That's why spirituality frees you. Not the typical spirituality, connecting with the live electric current of life right now.
Right.
That's what I am sharing and trying to make people understand.
I also, in my research, did not come across much about your history. And I'm curious, what did you read or what did you experience that got you here? Because even if we look at just the symbolic interpretation of all these mythological sort of beings, I don't know any book that will tell me that Kali is this ever-flowing cosmic current. You are saying it. Is that thought original? Did you read it? Did you discover it? What happened?
It's all there. If you're artistic enough and scientific enough and have been around in life enough. When I came to Rishikesh, I didn't have much idea about all this. But when I started to meditate here, insights started to happen here. Gangaji, on the side of Gangaji, when you meditate, really consistently, and doing some process, you'll start to have insights. Because common sense, man. What I am saying is not at all mythology, it's common sense. So, all coded knowledge is there in mantras, in mythologies, but we do not know how to translate them into the psychological sense.
Agreed.
Ganesha, gum. The root of the tongue is touching when you say gum.
Right.
Hence is related with Mooladhara. Ra is connected with the solar plexus. Ra is tip of the tongue. It's a fire. Ra. Ga, earth. Kali, total. Ka, E, seventh chakra. So this you have to have kind of...
Very interesting.
Because these are also kind of secrets also. Once you know this, then you know that, for example, Hanuman is the prana. Your breath is the Hanuman. If you drop all the mythology and stories, monkey god and all that, why present is Ramdut? This movement is saying there is a Ram. That's why we are moving. That's what Ramdut is. Essentially, Hanuman and Ram are not two separate things. The movement of Ram is Hanuman. So this is Ram moving as Satya, as Prakhar.
Right.
That means the Hanuman.
Very interesting. I think this deserves a more detailed conversation.
Yes,
but
definitely.
again, this insight you're saying happened because you sat next to the Ganga and meditated?
But of course, I had a history then. I was with Osho also. I studied a lot of philosophies, art, sciences. Then once you are into right kind of environment, all information starts to first look like chaos. Then they start to become a mandala around you. Then you see, okay, it's all connected. Om, first sound. Out of that, for example, if you do Om, you will become more like a monk because there is no tongue engaged. So when you say Ram, it's a Vaishnav mantra. Means earth and the sky. Om has no tongue, no energy. So you will become more Viragi. But with Ram, you will stay in the middle. So out of these two movements came all the mantras. What does it mean? Ra is the minimal movement of first union. So that's why the Shri Ram Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahastra Nam Tatulyam Rama Nam Varanane. When Parvati asked that we cannot speak Vishnu's 1,000 names, so Shiva says you can just chant Ram. It is like chanting 1,000 names. What means 1,000 names? Means this present movement chant this Ram. This is everything. How do you think this Ram is happening? Whole cosmos is engaged to make me speak this Ram. So who is this which is saying Ram? Ram only, no? I am just an illusion in between. The day your Shraddha happens to this Ram which is moving, you are Hanuman. You are now working at the order of the now, command of the now. And out of this one movement, all the complex movement of mantras. So for example, if you chant Ram, it will guide you to which mantra you need according to your system. You will just come across it.
That's so interesting.
Because this is Guru working with you now. The Guru.
The capital T, capital G Guru.
The Guru, which is running the cosmos. It knows exactly what you need. But you have to tune with the now's music. It comes like a song, not a logic.
It comes in poetry.
Not even poetry. It comes as a dhun. A melody comes. You just somehow want to flow there. And that's why my singing helped. I learned classical, I learned painting, martial arts. I studied various Sastranams, Stotrams. Then each word, you see why they are saying this. Then you think about it. Acha. Then you understand other things. For example, this is wisdom mudra. Water, fire is the experience. Water is where the outside frequencies enter your blood. This is the wisdom mudra. Means no intellect. Direct experiencing is wisdom.
Right.
So this is the clues are there.
And so this, and you don't find, okay, tell me how you conceptualize Ganga for that matter in this case, because one could say this is no longer the Ganga of several hundred years ago, even several 10 years ago. The modern situation of Rishikesh is not that auspicious history that we thought it was, right? Does that not, like, is the present reality not an interference in the insight that arrives from meditating next to the Ganga?
For example, no vibration dies in the cosmos. Everything continues. So maybe this Ganga Ji, it may be its frequency you can't feel because of the crowd, because of the rituals. But why Ganga is powerful? Millions of people became enlightened on its banks. They did meditations and practices. So the whole Gangaji banks from Himalaya till down is charged. If you go in a right frequency, you will catch that frequency. But if you go to do a ritual and some, loudspeaker thing,
it won't work.
You have to be there, spend time there, be quiet there. You will start to notice many weird events happen, but beautiful ones. When you sit by Gangaji, not go for rafting. Come on.
Connecting with the animal. I call it connecting with the animal.
Sit by the Gangaji and sometimes scary, sometimes beautiful, but things happen.
Right.
It sends you messages also.
I think there's a very unique thing happening right now. And I'll put it very simply. I think we are having the first or the second generation that is born in the screen world. The world is now occupied by these rectangular objects of existential dread. Okay? And it's very different because you see, when Prakriti evolved into Purush, there was a friction. And we discussed that friction, nature, nurture, even up until now. And because Purush existed and the ability to imagine existed, there was a dissonance between my lived experience, as you're saying, the present moment, Ram, and this imagined. And therefore, there was this constant conflict that many spiritual teachers and masters and gurus have tried to resolve through many methods of meditation and philosophies. I think what is happening now is that between the X and the Y axis, which is real life and imaginary life, there's a third, which is the virtual life. And I feel like what that is doing, the way that is sucking prana, the speed at which it is distorting prana out of our lives is unprecedented.
Yes.
Unprecedented. And it's, even 15 years ago when I was in school, it was a very trivial problem that parents would tell their kids, listen, beta, why are you spending all your time on your laptop? Now my parents are spending all their time scrolling reels. It is the most widespread disease we have, in my view, in the spiritual world. The most widespread. It is everybody without exception. I think the biggest problem with going to jail or sitting in a flight is the common experience of not having a screen. Right? And it's exactly that bad. And so I was just discussing also that we are introducing a Z-axis that is complicating everything by a factor of 3, not by a multiple of 3. And in that, I don't know what it looks like. Now that I contemplate having kids, now that my siblings are having kids, the number one concern is how do we deal with this screen epidemic? Because the virtual life runs faster than even the imaginary life in some cases, right? You can have had sex 1,000,000 times in the virtual world through pornography.
Yeah.
But you've never had it in real life, and your imagination is all borrowed from the virtual life. So it's not even organic imagination in that case. And so I wonder, how does one think about this?
It is, worst of all addictions is one addiction which is very rarely talked about, is addiction of thought. Because when there is a thought, you exist as a thinker. When there is no thought, no story, no drama, you don't exist. Krishnamurti said, thinker is the thought. There are two separate phenomena. So when I'm looking at a video on YouTube or anything, I am existing because of the drama, the one who is enjoying. But when you put it off, you stop to exist.
Right.
And that is scary. Till you are not used to not exist, just be quiet, and different kind of presence exists. That is one thing. And I think the big blow which is going to come, this is my creative imagination of Kalki, it will shut down the computers. Imagine what a swadhyaya will happen then. Self-examination people will go through. Suddenly you have nothing to project your mind on.
Right.
And you're left with yourself.
Right.
People panic worse than death when their phone is lost.
Yeah.
Doctor tells you have cancer, you'll die in 6 months. He'll say, where is my phone?
I need to tweet about it. Right.
So you see, that is how bad it is, because continuation which gives to a drama, to your ego, that is what it is based on. So till you do not taste your original prana, feel of ras of you will be needing this. It is a kind of offshoot of our culture.
It's a microcosm within. Yes.
Artificial intelligence also is
a microcosm
mind aspect of our fears. It will overtake us. As if you are not overtaken by your mind already.
Sure.
You're saying, oh, artificial intelligence will take us over. No. We are taken over anyway.
You are a slave of your mind already.
Yeah.
Now your mind is
a master slave.
Right.
whom you are slave to.
Right,
so
right.
that's how it works. So this is kind of extreme of like our Kali Yuga. This is exactly what defines Kali Yuga. Everybody, Kali Yuga means living into a thought as reality. Everybody's suffering is that nobody suffers from life. People suffer from their own thoughts about life. Once this becomes clear, the net of Maya cancels. You realize it's all me. You know why some people die because of enlightenment? When you realize that it was always me making stories, telling myself. Nobody ever hurt me. Nobody did anything. There is no birth. No, it's all me. That is Kavalya. Coming, realizing that I am the projection light in the projection room. There is nothing going on the screen. That is where you realize that you are giving energy to a thought. That's why it is becoming real.
Yeah, right.
I am giving energy to the internet. That's why it becomes my world. You can withdraw anytime.
And deal with the addiction withdrawals.
Yes.
Yeah.
That suffering, if you go through intentionally, then you don't need any other sadhana. Whole sadhana is make you go through suffering intentionally.
Right. You can use that addiction as a method of liberation.
Yes.
Right? Because when you start giving it up and the suffering is felt.
But be ready.
Yeah.
You will go through some deep
Hell.
shit.
Yeah.
Deep chaos. You will see, oh, I'm nothing. Fuck. I need something. It will burn you inside. And if you can stay with that burning, you will notice that burning, what tapa means. Everybody wants to change, but nobody is willing to burn. Any change comes through burning. What suffering does to you, it starts to burn you. That's why we call it suffering. It's changing you. When you really go through a suffering deeply, you will see after 1 week, you are a different person with fresh, like a child. You feel ready for life. Why? Because it took away your garbage. It burnt your garbage. All your arrogance disappeared. You realize with this pain, I was like a mouse. You lose your ego. You become humble again. You become pure energy again. And that is the state of Bhole. What we call Shiva. The innocent one. Like if you want to experience Shiva, look at children's eyes. That is Shiva looking right back at you. You don't need to find Shiva, just look around.
Right.
It's looking back at you.
I have only 2 more questions. One of them is, what are you doing here and where can someone find you if they had to from this conversation?
Best way to connect is on the Telegram, and please do not let it known that where I am, because I am keeping it kind of private.
Right.
Because unnecessary people come. Guruji aapke charnon mein baithna hai. Arey yaar. So what I'm doing here is kind of more like creating a space here where I am asking people to do creativity, meditation, being in jungle, learning a new organic lifestyle, which is neither material or spiritual. It's like embracing your energy and letting it express. That's what we need. Because mostly people go into spirituality to escape something. We go into any kind of pleasure to escape something. Here it is more about becoming creative and more participating with life. It's a mixture of devotion in a contemporary sense, not in a traditional Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, like brand kind of bhakti, no. For me, bhakti is totally engaging with what you're doing. That's the greatest worship you can do.
Sure.
And other is using your meditation as well, using your creativity as well, so you can be prosperous on the physical level, healthy on emotional level, and clear on the mind level. That is A-U-Ma. That's what Om means. Body, energy, mind, one organic unit.
Okay. Fair. So Telegram is the best way to sort of get in touch.
And there are YouTube videos and everything.
And then
there.
I don't know where I am myself, so it works out that I cannot tell anybody there. My last question, and it's generally sort of an epilogue, but is there any question or suggestion you have for me?
For you?
Yes.
I think you're doing a great work because you are bringing out only one thing which I feel with this podcast that not yours, in
overall,
general, they're talking too high funda stuff, 10 Mahavidyas and this and that. Give clues to normal humans. If they listen to a podcast, they have something to use and take home with it. Because that is where you can benefit, you know. Otherwise, I see many podcasts. There are some great Baba is talking about great powers. Talk something practical and real, which I feel, you know, this was my concern also when I asked Jeet to connect with you. That let's talk something which is more. So I'm happy how it happened.
I'm glad.
Because it gives you some clarity. I need some clarity. I do not want to know what are the 10 Mahavidyas.
Right.
What I will do with them. And who will tell me the process.
Right.
These are making deals with life, you know. Whereas you tell me how to live this life, how I can use my tools rightly. I am teaching people here how to use their 5 tools which are there of wisdom. Body, energy, mind, dialogue, and the self.
We try to be very careful of that, because if entertainment is a distraction from the self, spiritual entertainment is the last frontier. It's the most complicated frontier. That's when you can get into all this mumbo jumbo philosophical stuff, which, you know, it works as bait. It gets you interested. It gets you flowing. Words are they're like the alcohol that gets you, right?
I call it spiritual pornography.
Right. I call it spiritual entertainment, but pornography is much more radical. And it's very complicated, because then you are filled with all these thoughts that interrupt the basic flow of the process of knowing yourself, right? You've tokenized the act of understanding and made it into, well, passable commodities, tradable ideas, right?
And biggest hindrance, which I have experienced personally also, the ideas versus the actual experience.
Right.
When actual happens, you don't recognize and it doesn't fit with your idea.
So you mold it.
Not only that, when you experience something, now it has become your idea. Now you want it to repeat.
Right.
But each time when it happens, it is so unique. Your mind is left behind. So that is one of the biggest danger. Like Osho said that most person who is most in the darkness is Pandit, who have lots of knowledge, but no actual experience.
Right.
You see, sweet taste is something else than the word sweet.
Right.
If you can remember this, then you will know that actual experience of spiritual is
very different from the word.
From the word.
Yes.
Right. But we live into we want to experience words through spirituality.
Right.
But it will not happen. Right. It will cancel all your words.
Words are the ultimate condoms when it comes to the experience.
Yes, exactly. No baby is born.
No baby is born. No creation happened. And you never feel. You never feel. You're always guarded by the word. Right? And I don't know when I thought of this, but I think it's very true. Words are condoms in that way.
It is the condoms.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
This has been incredible.
Yes,
thank you.
Me too.